like you looking for something. Uh,
Transit prisoners. What is it? New Jersey? New Jersey? New Jersey prisoners pregnant.
so
And you should see that prison. They be showing that prison on TV. And that prison, oh my word. I don't even know how they stay locked up in there because it looked like you could just blow the wall down with a breath. Like that's how raggedy the prison is that this occurred in.
one of them Shawshank Redemption type.
No, man, you can, it was worse, way worse than that. Way worse than that. It's horrible. Okay, here it is. Here's the story. Oh, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know which one to show, but okay, choosing. Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on, hold on. It's ridiculous. These people are doing too much. Okay, sharing the screen. Sharing the screen. Okay. All right. All right. Is that it? There we go.
I mean, yeah, just the whole this all these laws and all this stuff that's just being put forth. I mean, you got to be dumb. Ah, it's just
Just gotta know.
huh?
You just gotta. Okay, look. Everything that's being done is being done to distract you from doing and knowing what you should know and be doing what you should be doing. Point blank. Period. Keeping us distracted, keeping us from doing what we should be doing, man. That's all it is.
Hey, Carlton Walker, we gonna get to you,
Keeping
homie.
us
We gonna get to you.
distracted. Okay.
Copper Color Lifestyle 94.
Oh, we got some new names, right? Okay. Carlton Walker.
Yeah, those are
Oh,
those
yeah. Hey,
are all
Tropical
trolls.
Lifestyle 94. Good to see you as always. Hey, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Okay.
So what does having a Hawkeye mean?
You know how them Hawkeyes, they be up in them trees, above the trees. They can see
Mm,
everything. Little thing on the
see
ground. They be trying
everything.
to, and they be trying to get my damn geese. They be, they be trying to kill my geese. That's right. That's what they try to do. That's what the Hawkeyes be trying to do. Try again. I wish the hawk would. That hawk don't try no more. You don't try no more. Not after my damn rooster got to him. No more. All right. So yeah. So check this out. You see this thing going two pregnant at New Jersey. Can you share this?
You can share it, right?
I am sharing it. I
I
don't
don't
know
see it.
whether it's showing. I don't think it's showing though. I'm supposed
Okay.
to be sharing it.
You have the share button, right?
I hit it. I thought I hit. Oh wait a minute. Maybe I didn't. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Now I got it. Ugh. Didn't have it. Okay. Mm. Okay. Now is it showing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Add to stream. There you go.
All right. So two pregnant. Now see how this.
You know
I
what?
don't know. Do we got it showing?
Before you
Yeah.
get started on that, before you get started on that,
Yeah.
let me welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans. The think, the learning, the common sense show that lets you know the people from America aren't foreigners. This is your home. And we're going to be sharing. So when we've been sharing and we will continue to share with stuff that just puts this in your face. You can no longer look at it like it's some bullshit. Seriously. Why do you think everything is happening the way, just the way Lisa's about to explain it now? Hit it.
Hey, Halito, Aseo, Kayuk to the chat. All right, peace to everyone. We're just gonna start hitting on one thing after another that's going on. First of all, why do I want to start with this? It's just because two pregnant at New Jersey Women's Prison, housing trans inmates. Oh, now it's saying inmates. Well, yeah, they just because you can't discriminate, right? So you got to let the trans in with the ladies because they're women, right? Because that's the whole thing, right? The status is you're a trans woman, and you can't distinguish from trans versus non-trans, right? Except when two women typically cannot impregnate themselves. What you think about that?
No, I mean, these are the people who we let educate our children. These are the people who we go to look after our health.
Mm,
These are the people who make laws against you.
check.
And
Baby.
we're still going down that road. Whatever. I'm voting next. We don't never look out for ourselves as a group of people. And that
Right,
bothers me.
right. How is it that it's okay that you're bringing in these so-called trans people, whatever they are? They're supposed to be women, but women. Okay, see, this is the thing. Why they got nuts? Why they got apparatus? How are you letting them into prison and they still got all that going on? They're not women. It should not even be possible. That, they're not women. And like I say, shoot, if I was a brother, that's what I would do. I'd be like, let me put some lipstick on before I go to court because they about to give me some time and I'm gonna go to the women's prison. I would be like, let me get a wig, let me get a skirt, let me get some lipstick, because I'm going to the women's prison. If I'm gonna do the time, I'm gonna do it right.
So let me ask you a question, Lisa. Let me ask you a question. So
What
do you think this could be advertising for that? What you just said?
I'm saying, that's what I would do if I was a dude and I was about to face some time. Shit, why would you go to a man's prison where you gonna get hit on or have to fight these niggas and deal with all? Nah, go to a women's prison. You're stronger than everybody. You got a good selection of females. All of them are thirsty. It's what? It's a no-brainer. Put on a wig, put on some kitten heels, get into that courtroom with some lipstick on, and get yourself locked up as a trainee. Okay? Because that is the way to go. That's the
Just
way to go.
just thinking about wanting to do that has a fucked up sound to it, you
It
know?
sounds fucked up, but it really makes a lot of sense. And not only that, we're increasing the population. It's a win-win.
Now that you put
We're
it that way.
winning. We're beating the system.
Right,
Finally.
right.
Finally. Because these niggas are faking being damn training, going in there and fucking the joint up and having babies. Excuse me. I think it's too soon in the broadcast for me to be saying that.
Yeah.
No. They're shooting the joint up with their whatever and making babies. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, that's how we've
So, we're
evolved.
winning.
Huh?
We're actually procreating within the prison system. We got our gay man turning straight. We got our ladies being serviced. It just seems like a winning situation. I don't know. And I know it sounds
No, 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 you
but it
don't.
is true. But but this is what they're doing. This is the stupid games they're playing with us. They're feminizing our men. They're promoting this homo erotic homo philic world. Homophilic, like love is like illic, right? Homophilic love world, right? And so we're supposed, they want these men to be this way. They want them to come in and be like, oh, they want them to wear, they would want to wear heels, 5-inch heels and makeup and hair weave and wigs, and they want them to say that they're trained. They want all our men to be trainees. Well, guess what? They still gonna shoot up the joint, and they still gonna make babies. So now what? Think about that. That's mind-boggling, isn't it? Because I have a feeling that if it was a white trainee, yeah, it wouldn't be happening like that. But that's the diabolical thing about these damn Indians. You really just cannot read what we are gonna do. You really can't. You can't just be like, like for a Caucasian, if they're training, the fact that they're gonna come shoot up the joint, I don't think so. But the brothers, man, they still may have an interest. Not only will they have an interest, they still will be active. So now what? So feminizing these men to keep to lower our productivity, not effective. I would say that would be a losing score in their column. What do you think?
Well, it is, because somebody that wants to rush to get into a cage and to live their existence out, to create, to do whatever they're here to do that out of a cage. I don't think that's too wise.
I mean, what's interesting is the guy who actually, uh, I guess, did the deed. He unfortunately of course he had a really ridiculous sentence. I think he killed his foster parent or something. Not, I mean, murder is murder, but he was a child. And I can't imagine what he was actually going through that he actually uh, did that to a foster parent. So probably there was some
I mean,
real
I think
shenanigans.
but I'm saying that, see, I would want to get the story from this kid himself,
This
because
see,
we
this
we
is
talk we
is
talk
the
like,
image
oh,
showing? Yeah, because I got the new image up. I don't know
yeah,
why
so
it's not.
we speak like these foster parents are something great, and many of them are assholes. They just trying to get the money. But see, we don't never talk about that.
Right.
We don't we well, I mean, you don't know what they was doing to this kid. And we done heard all the foster kids and all these whatever these institutions are that come be snatching people's kids. Just
Hmm.
because they don't want to feed their kids candy. They'll come snatch
Mhm.
your kids for shit like that. So I know how the newspapers are and how they spin stuff. I think we just have to look at it another way. Why is all these kids in these fosters home? Why aren't these adults capable of taking care of children? Let's get to the root of the problem and let's stop talking about all this other dumb shit. Let's get to the root of the problem so we can fix it.
Well, part of the root of the problem is that we don't come together. We're not gathering at the storehouse, and we're not being that community that we're supposed to be. And our families aren't coming together to try to take care of each other like we used to do. And that's a problem. Unfortunately, I'm surrounded by I have people in my midst, and I'm connected to people that do take care of their own. But a lot of people aren't taking care of their own anymore. They're putting Big Mama in a nursing home, and they're letting their sisters' kids go get taken away, and their cousins' kids get taken away, and they're not coming through for each other. And I could say on several sides of my family that people are coming through for each other. It's still, even though may not be necessarily as physically close as we used to be, but this kid, I mean, he was probably being abused, most likely by that foster parent. And then these lawyers, they ain't good for shit. They sit up there, let this child get a freaking man sentence for manslaughter for a guy who's a foster parent who, this boy been touched. This boy been touched in more ways than one. Okay.
Yes.
So He was not meant to be no homosexual, no trans, or no nothing. But this damn foster parent probably was just physically molesting this boy to the maximum. Now he don't know what he is. The media is telling him he's training. The mediums tell him he's homosexual. But his damn he's been abused bodily, so he feels like he must be because of whatever feelings he has or things that he's been subjected to, but yet he's really not. So when he's in the presence of woman, he has his natural urges and his natural instinct comes out, and he made 2 damn women pregnant. Well, this is what you monsters in this new world order create. You create this. But guess what? Nature is going to make the Indian continue to create and grow and build, no matter what kind of things you do to try to make us defective and to make us into some kind of abomination.
Yeah, we ain't going out like that over here. I mean, people can do what they want to do. They have the right.
We have the
They can
right,
be they can be whatever they want to be. Now,
right. But
damn,
no what was a demonic little creature anyway? Pan African, that pan is not a good thing. Pan is not a good thing. It's a combo shit that is demonic anyway. So you don't want to be a pan anything. Not a pansexual and not a pan African. You don't want to be pan. So no panness is going on around here. Let's let that go. Okay. So you all can daggone condone all the pan everything and mix it all up all you want to, but that's not part of our culture. And guess what? We don't have to accept it as part of our culture. And you cannot ram anything you want down our throats. Thank you.
y'all don't hear me this morning. So you said we traded a storehouse for this crap that we have now. What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so
For the
seriously,
church house.
the church house. This church house. No, well, not just the church house. We traded, like you said, the storehouse. So, like, we used to have storehouses. That's not a home. That's a storehouse in the middle of a field, right? That's a storehouse. Storehouses is what they came to this country and saw. Storehouses is what enabled us to be able to feed those daggone crazy, horrible people when they came into our country. They came here to daggone pilfer, plunder, and steal. Well, it's the storehouses that enabled us to do this. I'm not. Is the storehouse showing yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Well, this is the thing. We had storehouses, and that was our religion. Our religion involved us being the type of people that planned our lives around nature. And when nature was abundant, that season, we put things away so that when nature took a break and went to sleep, then we could sleep. We could sleep longer. We could sleep easy because we knew we had provisions. And we made sure we had these provisions that we would share amongst each other. We even share these provisions with these intruders, invaders, and daggone criminals that came on our shores. These same storehouses, they took these storehouses and encouraged us to make these storehouses into church houses because they didn't want us to live in the way that we used to live that made sense, that saved their daggone butts. They wanted us to be without, to have periods of desperation, to be in constant trade and constant need. See, when you work within nature, you're not going to be in constant need. You're not going to be constantly trying to fight against nature because you're living with it. When nature goes to sleep, you go to sleep. When nature is abundant, you get abundantly busy, getting ready for the rest of the season. But that's not the way they wanted things. They wanted to be able to control and manipulate, and they are doing it every day of our lives. They cannot live in harmony on this planet. They have to manipulate, they have to make it artificial. So every day they make us dependent on this artificial reality. We don't even know who we are anymore, let alone we can't even recognize what's real and what's not. We got all these Africans on the internet pretending to be us, and we sit up there giving them all these views and likes and all this crap, and they are just a bunch of daggone Nigerians. But we just eat them up. We got all these freaking daggone Caucasian and daggone these Asian, Black Asian Europeans doing all sorts of things, making all kinds of daggone uh, 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 overtures into our identity, but we don't care who takes our identity because we're not knowing who we are. See, we got to get back to who we are. We got to get back to the way we were. They people may call us moon worshipers. That's not us. These people that are doing all this moon shit and all that damn, that's not us. We're not moon worshipers. We're not sun worshipers. We believed in one God. We did not worship the moon or the sun, but what we did was respect the seasons. And we respected the fact that these seasons give us information. That is God's mechanism of communicating to us.
It's that
The
damn
sun.
simple.
Okay? It is. The sun teaches us. It tells us what's happening. The stars, the moon, the wind, the rain, the animals, the breeze, the trees, the soil. We read all of these things. We watch the birds, we listen to them. All these things, the plants, all these things are teaching us about what to do, when to do it. That's how we used to live. But that's what we've lost because now we depend on somebody in the media telling us what to do. What do they say? I don't know what to, I don't know what to do. They say get a shot. They say get a booster. I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for what I need to do next. Are you
So
freaking
let
kidding
me
me?
ask you a question. So what do you think, or what do you see? Because you're in the health field. What do you see that how, like you said, nature is all around, is right in front of our faces. What do you think we're doing as to not recognize it?
Why are we not recognizing? I think because we're so used to being uncomfortable with it. Why are we not recognizing it? First of all, if you try to avoid it, if you don't want to be outside and you're worried about bugs and you're scared of them getting too hot or getting too cold, or you don't want to get your feet dirty and you don't want to, if you have all these aversions to
Mm.
being in nature, then you're not going to see any clues. All you're going to see is this is uncomfortable. Where's my whatever, my comforts that they have given me that I feel so great about. And then all the comforts that you're comfortable with, we invented the majority of them. However, the fact of the matter is that you're not going to see the clues because you'll know when the animals start acting crazy. They're letting you know. When they start being concerned and doing stuff, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on with these ants? What's going on with this? What are the bees doing? What are the birds doing? Wait a minute, they're acting a little crazy. Like they shouldn't be doing this time of year. That's the kind of thing you're gonna miss out on because you're so busy trying to be glued to the TV to figure out, what's really going on with you know, Jesse Jackson or daggone Al Sharpton or what celebrity died or what celebrity was sleeping with who cheated on who slapped who, like all this dumb stuff. Who's Obama's daughter's dating? Who cares who she's dating? All that dumb stuff to keep us distracted.
You mean
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Jesus. Do we do a lot of our family members are gonna, the ones that are real religious, which a lot of us are, because that's what they did. They took our storehouses away. And our storehouses were not just a physical storehouse. I mean, there's also the spiritual storehouse. The storehouses also, if you can go with me with this figuratively, the storehouse is also like, what are you doing? What are you storing up in your life? What are you doing that's right? Are you doing the right things just because? Are you creating a spiritual storehouse for yourself that you have a repertoire of things that you can undeniably state that there's no question that it was good and right and just? Are you creating that in your soul? Are you creating that in your midst, in your spirit? Are you creating that energy around yourself? That storehouse. A lot of times today, you can do a lot of things. Like you can do things and they may on the outside seem like they're good because you may actually win. You might actually have a good outcome from from the outskirts. You might say, yeah, that's good. It's like when I talk about from healthcare standpoints, when I talk about the ratchet things that people can do. Like in healthcare today, we were having a conversation and I was saying, well, Carrie, that in healthcare, they have these hospitals that, they can do cardiac casts, right? And I said, well, years ago, I think it was like 2000, maybe in 2001, they did a Seaport study. They did a study to see the feasibility of having these cardiac casts in like every kind of little hospital that you can imagine. Is it safe to do a cardiac cath in these little hospitals?
What's a
And they
cardiac cast?
Cardiac cath is where they could take a catheter, put it in your groin or in your wrist, and bring that little catheter, which is a tube, bring it all the way to your heart, shoot dye in it. They can also take a balloon at the end of it and open up your arteries when they're clogged. And they could also leave a little spring that looks like the spring that's inside of a pencil to keep the vessel open when you have a heart attack when it's blocked. They can leave that little spring in there. It's called a stent. They can do that all via a long catheter that they hose in through you and through a vessel through your groin, or sometimes they can do it in your wrist, through your wrist, right? So they did studies to see if this can be done in a hospital that doesn't have an open heart surgery unit. Because if something goes wrong, you're going to need a surgeon. But they did the study and they said we can do it. Why? Because they were going to say that anyway. Because you can skew a study to say whatever you want it to do. But they wanted to make this work because they wanted the money. They wanted to be able to make the money. Open up a cath unit, you got money. You can do these catheter procedures, and when somebody comes in with chest pain, do a cardiac cath and be like, "Oh, you got to had a heart attack." You can send them to a hospital that can do surgery, or while you're doing the catheterization, you can put a little stent in there and fix it yourself. Wow. Then you get to keep all the money. The thing about a cardiac cath is this. Yeah, you can do a cardiac cath. However, if a person needs surgery and a little hospital does a cardiac cath, and you go to your local hospital, you get it done. But you need surgery, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And when you go to the other hospital, they may send over the film. They'll send over that film, but they're not going to use that film. They're going to do another cardiac cath. So what is the point of them doing one? They could tell by your heart rhythm and by your lab work that you're having a heart attack. They could have just set you to the daggone hospital. They could fix you from the jump, so you wouldn't have to have a second cardiac cath. But they just want the money. So it's not about what you can do, is whether you should do what you can do. Yeah, they can do a cardiac cath there. Should they? Especially when they know you need something else? No, they shouldn't. But they do what they can do because they can do it. Now, you would say from the offset, well, they're trying to save a life. They're doing what they can do. Yeah, in a way, it may seem like it's okay. But really and truly, it's not always okay. And it really does depend on the situation. And really, a lot of times when they do that, they mess you up. For instance, several people I know in my family personally I didn't know they were going and getting these cardiac casts done. And when they told me that they had several stents in their heart, I was like, oh crap.
So this
Because
is just like normal procedure then, huh?
right, they do it all the time. They'll go in and you'll go to your little local hospital and they'll see you got a blockage, you got a heart attack, and they'll go ahead and put these little stents in and they'll put one in and they'll put two in and they'll put a third in, then they may put a fourth in. Baby, when you go beyond two stents, you've gone too far. If you have three stents in your heart, there may be a chance they can't do surgery on you. And beyond three, they definitely can't do surgery.
Ladies, let me ask you a question. What is causing the clog up? Why are people's heart and all these valves so clogged up?
Well, I think some of it is just a lot of what we eat, is the food, the non-food we eat. A lot of these foods, and also like, okay, this is what they did. First of all, like we could talk about this. How about the you know, when they went off butter and everything was like Westernality and all these different commercials for these, you can't believe it's not butter. And they
Right,
made all these butter substitutes and stuff, right?
right.
When you have these butter substitutes, I don't know if y'all wash dishes. I'm sure y'all do, I hope. But with you may not, you may just rinse it and put it dish. I don't know. But anyway, this is the thing. When you have butter and you have um, animal fats or whatever, it's a different consistency than these fake butters. When these fake butters dry or harden, they are like a whole different kind of substance.
Yeah.
They are not like butter that is animal fat, like from nature, and it really super clogs you up. So the whole premise was, oh, it's this oil, it's that polyunsaturated, blah blah blah. You know, thinking you're doing better because you're not eating butter, but it tastes just like butter. But no, you were killing yourself because this stuff just hardens up in your body like they're gonna cement. So a lot of the things that old people had gotten into the habit of eating, they changed their diets from eating real butter and lard and bacon with that stuff to using these polyunsaturated crap stuff that's made out of chemicals. And a lot of it's just made out of straight petroleum from like the oil fields because of Rockefellers. The Rockefellers wanted their money to go to everything, right? They made the drugs out of petroleum and they made the food out of petroleum. So you're eating straight petroleum like goes into your car. And then you wonder why you clogged up. Do you wonder?
Why isn't this common knowledge?
They
I
don't
mean,
want you to know.
why aren't these babies when they go into first grade they're taught about this shit? Is it are we really that behind?
I mean, no, let me tell you, we're in a world where, like I said, it's not people. The good that people do is we don't even know what is good or is what is right anymore because. Like I said, they twist it up where you think you're doing good by eating something that's not butter. I can't believe it's not butter. You know what I mean? And you're really hurting yourself. So everything is daggone twisted. So that's why I'm telling you that you have to understand that everything that is good, that everything that people can do, they should not necessarily do. Just because you can doesn't make it right. Just because you can put a stent in somebody, that third stent, you to me, you're murdering that person because you're ruining their chances from any real corrective surgery forever.
Can that be reversed once you start
No,
getting those stents?
no. Once you go beyond three, most doctors won't cut you at all. You will not be able to get open heart surgery and get see because normally you get open heart surgery and they take your own natural vessels from your leg or wherever and they put it up there and they do a like a patchwork and they patch you do a jump start. They jump start from where it's clogged up and messed up and give you a whole new vessel from your leg and give you a whole new smooth pathway. That's what they can do. But if you got all them metal stents in you, oh heck no. No decent surgeon is going to trust you, touch it. too dangerous, too risky. So that's the thing. They can do it because they did a study. It's safe. It's okay. It's legal. But everything people can do, they shouldn't do. That's where ethic has disappeared. There are no ethics in this planet today. Just because you can do something, it don't make it right. And that's how you know who's a real soul person and who's not. Who's a daggone foreigner. Who's an interloper. Because interlopers ain't got no conscience and they got no ethics. And they just do it for the dollars. And they don't think about, well, is it right? Is it really right? Is it the best thing? It was like I was telling you about my daughter getting dental work, and the dentist she went to didn't do oral surgery. So she was trying to tell her to get some braces on this messed up tooth. And I was like, and she had to argue with the daggone dentist for an hour till the dentist finally admitted that she didn't do oral surgery. But if she had been a person that was not cognizant, she would have just went with what the dentist said, like, "Oh, it doesn't need surgery. Oh, you just need a braces on it or something stupid that she can do." You see what I'm saying? You see how they do wrong to people
Right.
because their egos are more important than what is right. That's not you. If you are like that, you are not an Indian. You're not a real Indian. Because real Indians have a natural conscience, a natural sense of like, I just can't go that far, you know?
I was having a conversation with a brother, and from Los Angeles, and he was saying the same thing about getting into that whole rap scene. And he said he was good. He was moving up, getting in, and he got to the part where the contract was signed. He got a manager or agent or whatever those people are before you get.
Right.
And he said, with the contract, they was pimping him
Oh
before,
yeah.
before the record companies was. And he just said, "No." He said, I'm not going to do myself like that. That's me ethics. You
Right.
just not going to do anything just to be something.
Right.
And I think that's where, the so-called African American, that's where they've gone. Though they've been
Right.
go that way.
Yeah, at a certain point you have to understand that, and we're getting confused, and we're getting to a point now we're being fooled by a lot of these people that ain't us. A lot of these people that are Asian, Caucasian Europeans, or I don't know what they are, but they're not us. And the way you'll know it is because of the lack of ethics. Like, they seem to have ethics, but no, not when you really look at it. Not when you really, and if you try to explain what I'm explaining to y'all about there's some things that you can do that you just shouldn't do. They don't get that. They just can't get it. And that's how you know they different, because they don't understand that. Like, before I had my first summit, before I even got to that, my dad had died. And it was so he had some money. My parents had some money. He actually, my mom had willed some stuff to us before she left, and we were supposed to get it when she died. That was back in the 2002. And he said, "No, you ain't getting this damn money." No, he didn't say it like that, but he did say, "You ain't getting this money. This is my money.
He's
You can
right.
get this." He said, "You can get this when I die." This is my wife's money. I'm keeping it. So, I mean, and my sibling at the time, I was just like, well, that's what Daddy said. But I didn't know my siblings was like mad as they were mad about that crap. Like, they were really mad. I didn't know. Well, I knew my brother was, but I didn't know they all, like several of them were. But anyway, so for me, I was just like, whatever. That's what he said. That's what he said, right? So basically, he lived a damn long time from that point on. Like, that was 2002, so he lived there, like 15 years past that, right? To 90. So he lived a long, healthy,
and
And
had
my
and had and had loot to do it.
he had loot, but he didn't really spend it, but he had it. You know what I mean?
He was
So when
looking
he
out for his
died,
baby.
there was a good sum. I don't even know to this day how much it was because my siblings, the two oldest that were, executors, they kept that from me. They were being horrible. Like I was like devastated as to how much they was hating me. Like I knew that there was hate, but dog, like it was horrific. I had to go get counseling. It was so bad. I was like catatonic the way they treated me around this whole money thing and my dad dying from the before the funeral to like after. It was like horrible. The after was horrible. So I say this because um I could have um I could have like even when I got the share that they did give me, I could have like gotten a lawyer and tried to investigate and did whatever, and just whatever. But this is the thing. This is what you have to do as a person that has ethics. If they feel that way, that they need it so badly, like if you gotta be that way, that you would treat your own sibling like that to keep whatever you think you supposed to take, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? I mean, if you don't need to fight that person, they already suffer because you got to be suffering to act that way. You know what I mean?
So do you think, when you say trading the storehouse for all this other stuff, um, trading the storehouse for the church house, is that how people who are in the church house, is that how they act?
Well, I mean, people see that's the thing. The church house allows you to act like no matter how you do, you could treat your sister like crap. You could treat your sister like dirt, but you're forgiven. You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
I went to the church. I helped them set up for the church. I volunteered at the church. So they feel, oh, I'm good. You see what I'm saying? It gives you an out. It gives you an artificial out because really what these demons, they don't want you to really be the real good souls that you're supposed to be. They want you to have an artificial sense of goodness while you actually are doing things that are wrong. That's what the church does. Because the storehouse meant you had to actually bring your work, your corn in there. You had to invest time into bringing something tangible to the storehouse. But the church, you just got to fake it. You just got to bring something to make the pastor happy. How easy is that? You really just got to kiss one butt, grease one palm, and all is forgiven and all is good. That's not real. It's not ethical and it's not the storehouse.
So when you say, do American Indians know Jesus, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, Jesus. Now, see, this is the thing. If we really understood religion, we understand that Jesus is the Son, and everything in religion from this time till before time began is based on really the stars and the moon and the planets. So Jesus is the Son. And that's why they show him with a crown around his head, like the daggone rays off a sun. That's why you have a cross that has a circle on it, and the two and the cross in the middle. It's really the sun. It's really the solar system and the sun. He is the sun. And when they say his birthday is, that's during winter solstice. That's when the sun rises and then it sets and then it rises again in 3 days on the 25th, the 22nd to the 25th. That's really solar. That's solar movement. And so all these stories that people talk about in the Bible are just really just ancient stories that are remixed. So you'll just accept all these pagan things that people have been doing forever. People think they're so much better because they feel like their religion is superior. But all these religions are the same. And they're all based upon ancient astrology and the sun and the moon.
So why do you think the church is so quiet now?
Well, I think first of all, it's because of um, first of all, the whole COVID thing, shutting them down, that was a big hit. But the other thing is, anybody that got half a mind, if you got faith, why are you worried about COVID? Why are you so fearful about this disease? Why don't you have a more faith? Why aren't you praying for a healing? Why aren't you realizing that this is just about evil principles and principalities? But why do you believe in everything in the news if you are believing in Jesus? This is the thing. I mean, that was crazy. The fact that really, anybody who really, come on now, the churches should never close their doors. They should never close their doors. So the fact that they closed the doors, I think for some people just was a bad look. And I think a lot of people that do attend church, they do it for show more so than to know. They do it to show how godly they are, how dedicated they are, how, you know, Christian they are, or Muslim they are, or whatever it is, or Hebrew Israelite that they are. They try to show out. They want to be the one that's always there. I never miss her. I'm always there. I'm always here. I'm always praying. I'm always praising. Who are you doing that for? Because if you're doing it like that, you ain't doing it for nobody heavenly. You're doing it for a show for the people. And how is that working for you?
It's a show.
It's a show. Oh, shoot. Okay. I don't know if I'm still here.
You still here?
Oh, okay.
Ah, you got that one, huh?
Yeah.
So,
So anyway, so oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, show this. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. So, earlier Lisa was talking about how just anybody can come over and we fall in love and we can be anybody. And what's really happening to the American Indian, you're being pushed off your land. But, and you got to remember this, when they call you the minority, it's a flip. Where do you go where the indigenous people are the minority?
Hmm.
You have to ask yourselves questions. You just can't let people come tell you stuff and you pick it up and run with it because you look like a dumbass later, like most of the Negroes who are in these organizations do.
Right.
We're leading people off of who they are. So you have to ask yourself, why are Negroes still Muslim? And how Muslim got over to America, all you have to do is study the history. 10 minutes, you will throw that in the trash. Why do we do that? And we allow ourselves to just always be fooled, always being bamboozled. Then when somebody brings it up and tells you how dumb you are, you want to don't talk to us like that. Why you gotta hurt our feelings? Nah, you gotta see this so you can pass it on to your kids,
Somebody needs to know something.
so they don't fall for the same shit. You just go for this stupid shit just trying to fit in, and it never turns out right.
Hmm.
That's not you can't say the white man did. That's on us for never being able to learn. We get stuck in one place and stay there and argue that shit forever. And it don't work. Being black doesn't do anything. Calling yourself dead doesn't produce anything. How don't you see that?
Doesn't work.
Check this out. Explain this one, Lisa. Check this out.
Well, let's go. Okay, so I was discussing with someone that called me the other day, and said that she was upset that I said something about a certain YouTuber that I said was a chief Nigerian, not American Indian. Okay, and the person said they were offended that I had said that, but then they looked into it and look back on some videos that she had done before, and noticed that she had had quite a bit of dental work done. Also noticed that that whole so-called fake Georgia accent wasn't there. It wasn't there before. Like, this is a new development. So uh, she said that definitely, this person is definitely Nigerian. And I was like, yeah, but yeah. She was like, and she said, in particular, I noticed that she has a gap in her bottom teeth that is prominent. And, as you often see that in Nigerian people, we have gaps at the top often, but they often have these bottom teeth gaps, which we don't necessarily often have. So, and then if you look, this person still does have a little bit of one gap in their bottom teeth. And so that's the thing. I mean, we have and then what did you say? Somebody told you, right? Something
Yeah,
about Nigerians. Yeah, you said
yeah.
you said
Just the
something else.
whole the people over on the other side, and this is what I mean. We can't go by what people say. You have to think this and figure this shit out yourself because nobody's teaching us nothing. That's
Right.
why it's super important for you to think. I mean,
Think.
your mind, your memory, the way you breathe, the way you figure out things works just as good as anybody else on this planet.
Right.
You just got to stop letting them tell you what's going on and accepting everything they say without questioning it. That's what the African American does. Then he whines and cries when his ass is called on it.
Right.
People on the other side of the world, they have different characteristics of you. Lisa talked about it earlier. Their ethics are different than yours.
Right.
They don't care what happens over here because it's not their home. They ran
No.
away from their home. They
Right.
run away from their home. Guess who the first one to take them in? You.
Us. Caregivers. Caregivers. Yeah.
They come over here and pin you. If you went over to Africa and act like they act over here, they'd kill your ass, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
They come over here and do anything to you. You cool with it. That my brother. I'm telling y'all, seriously, y'all think this is a fucking joke.
Hmm.
They're running away from their home trying to get what your people have left for you. And
Right.
you're the main one letting them in. And you let everybody dog you out. African American,
Right.
you let everybody dog you. Then try to bitch and whine your way out of it. Are you
Right.
understanding what's happening right now? I mean, we did programs on Ukrainians going to historically black colleges and universities. That doesn't say anything to anybody. That's not important. We shouldn't look really. And all we talk about is the same dumb shit over and over and over and over and over and over again,
Kissing everybody in the mouth.
kissing everybody in the mouth.
Kissing everybody in the mouth.
So this is what I'm saying. These cats that's telling you you did and yeah, you came over, you took a Norwegian cruise ship from Africa over here. It's a lie. Have anybody come. Matter of fact, I posted, you come on and explain it. Soon as you slip up, I'm just going to ask you, sir, may I retort? Because these
Right.
people can tell you any goddamn thing. You
Anything.
swallow it. You swallow it. No matter how dumb it, matter of fact, the dumber it sounds, the more you accept it.
The more you go for it.
Do you
Why?
really do you really think if they kidnap people from Africa, Africa wouldn't have a dip in their population at that time? Africa is one of the most populous places in the world. Their people are fleeing their home as their home is being invaded by everybody. They're fleeing over here, and you love them. You would have a baby with them. That you see how you see how you do yourself. Don't ever open your mouth about somebody doing something to you because you always dick yourself over first. Okay, Lee.
No, for real. I mean, so I mean, this is the thing. I mean, when people we get upset if a white person had come on the internet, put black face, put put brown makeup on, put daggone weave on their heads, and called themselves Chief Lisa, we'd be offended. How dare they? Why are you pretending? It's this just because your somebody's skin is brown, that don't make their daggone caricature of us any more offensive, any less offensive. It's offensive. You ain't us. Why are you acting like a Southern Georgia Indian acts like that? Lets their titties be all out inside the camera, puts their daggone puts their over bad weave all in their hair, bad makeup on. That is not what Georgia, real Georgia peaches do. They don't sound like that. Their energy's not like that. Georgia peaches got a real it's a very calming, it's a very soothing energy. They got a homey feel to them. It is not all extra and all this vibrato. That is fake. That's caricature. That's, you know what that is? That's blackface. That's a Nigerian putting on an indigenous face. They
And sound
overdo it.
and
Like
sound.
Godfrey. You know how Godfrey can imitate us? Well, he
Yeah.
does a good job of imitating us. But when you really don't know how we are, you aren't good at imitating, it comes off extra dramatic, extra, just like over the top. And that's what you should be seeing when you see these fake entities. You should be noticing that. Why are they talking about land patents all the time? Because really, if we're not free of our slave identities, such as Black and African Americans, ain't no daggone use for you having a land patent because you're not even free. And you can't even do what you're supposed to do. You can't walk like you're supposed to walk. You can't make moves like you need to be able to make moves because you're not out of your slave class identity. These people show what they are. You are a multi-million dollar person who has a multi-million dollar business, yet you're on YouTube talking about land patents. Before you were singing opera and talking about tax money. Tell me how this makes sense. You know anybody that talks about taxes or who talks about they're going not having to pay taxes, you're going to get a lot of viewers. You're going to bring the Negroes to the yard. And then when you have them in the yard, you're talking about land patents, but you ain't talking about your land patents, are you? You're
Nope.
not talking about your genealogy. Are you showing your family? I want to see your grandparents. I want to see your grandparents. Real names and real grandparents. You guys you don't have no daggone, you don't require nothing of nobody. You don't have no standards. You're not saying, I require somebody who I give my time and attention and my money to produce some reality. I want to know that they're real. Y'all don't require that.
Long as they black.
You just assume they're real. You let them put on your face. You let them put on your face. As if that's not disgusting. As if that's not freaking insulting. I'm insulted that Tasha K had the audacity to talk about anybody, even if they're Dominican. I don't think you need to come in America and be talking about American celebrities. Go talk about Nigerian celebrities. Don't make money off of my people, because I ain't trying to make money off of yours. You know what they said? Get your hand out my pocket to distract before they kill Malcolm.
Right.
Get your hand in my pocket. Well, literally, they got their hand in your pocket, and they distracting you. Don't let people don't let these people come and take your time and take your energy without them being qualified, without you vetting them. How can they stand before you and get all your allegiance, your daggone fan time, your daggone likes, your subscribership, and they don't even tell you what their real name is? Even if your name is Gene, Gene is not an American name.
Yeah, well, Lisa, but isn't there? I mean, okay.
That's not American. That and at the very least, that's Haitian. But that's not even being Haitian. That's not you're not even a Haitian.
But does that
Everything
go?
is fake. Your brother has a whole African name. Everything is fake.
But
And
does
y'all
that?
don't even want to care about finding out the truth. Y'all just want to be like fans.
So why is it like that? How come we're so easily duped? Because I'm figuring a woman that comes from another place, she's gonna have a different smell than the woman here. She's gonna have a different feel. You can pick out the way she talks, little idiosyncrasies she's picked up when she was growing up, just like sisters over here pick up. Are we? I mean, what does that say about us when we just ignore all that?
We're not paying attention to things. And we really need to child. Oh, okay, that's that Asian American that got punched in the face. This time it was a white person. I mean, what does it say about us that we don't pay attention to things? We're not paying attention to things. And you know what? At this time, at this date, at no time can we afford not to pay attention to details. We can't. We cannot not pay attention to details, because everything is about the details. Everything. Because half of the stuff that they are passing by us they're so fake. They're so fake. We shouldn't we can't afford to just give them a pass on anything. They're giving us garbage and we are taking it in like it's real. We had a broke down man with broke down knees and broke down feet and broke down back, and he was supposed to be hopping over daggone turnstiles in the daggone subway. No, that's not possible. The man could hardly walk. The man could hardly walk, and the media make us want to believe this man was some kind of terrorist.
Don't let the TV remain your thoughts, because everything we think about, especially about who we are, we get it from the TV or some other institution. You don't get it from yourself.
We
That's
have to
why,
work on that.
yeah, that's why we make Paramount. Who are you? What do you have? Who are your people? Where they come from? There's thousands of towns over here named after indigenous people. Aren't your people from some of those?
Right.
Weren't your people responsible for something because we always say we helped build this country. No, idiot, this is your country. I mean, come on.
Right.
Come on. You always say stuff to put yourself in a slave position in your own. We do that because we won't even just go back 3, 4 generations to check out what we were doing here. Many of you have uncles, cousins, relatives, friends that did amazing stuff. You come from that same stock, but you turn your back on it and run 5,000 miles across the ocean. But you get mad when we check your ass. For real, cuz? For real? So you seeing what the world is doing. It is well known over the world that the African American don't think. How could they? Why would they call themselves African American? Because somebody told him to do that. You wasn't calling yourself African American in 1975. You wasn't calling yourself African American in 1960. You wasn't calling yourself African American in 1945.
Mm-mm.
What's up? And then, and this is what the African American makes me want to vomit. Then you have the nerve to go back and call people who didn't even never heard the term. You gonna go back and revise the history and name those people something that they weren't? You don't see how
Mm-hmm.
that's allowing other people to come in and get your shit, but you a scholar. Y'all can keep playing dumb if you want. I would advise not to.
Right.
What we have here, Lee.
Well, just looking through some of the newspapers, right? The newspapers at the Library of Congress. You can look up various newspapers that go back as far as the 1600s, some of them 1700s. I found this as a Virginia pilot 1900, but I actually am related to Dixon. My grandmother was a my great grandmother's a Dixon, Rachel Dixon, and anyway, this guy's a boxer, and that just I mean what I'm just trying to show you is that if we just look back. Right now, we have so many resources and mechanisms that we can find out things about our family in various ways and various methods. It's all online, it's at our fingertips. A lot of it is right there. And so, we need to start reaching back because a lot of them were in and the way they used to write newspaper articles was funny because they would go like even with this fight, they go blow for blow. It's like you're watching the fight, you know when they talk about somebody committing a crime, they go into every detail. It's really funny, So it was the TV of the time, right? So I mean, you can find out a lot of things about what happened, and especially if it's a crime or whatever it is or a dispute. I mean, and it could be that it's about your family, and I think it's important for you to understand that we need to kind of put our focus on what is important, and that's getting ours. The other thing I want to say is that a lot of times um people just want to get a foothold into their homeland, right? They want to get a foothold. All right, let me see. mm, that's not it. Okay, hold on. There's a mechanism for you to do that. It's not a private search. I'm gonna do a private search. Ugh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, by looking into the records, here it is, of where you live, okay? Looking into those records like the tax records and things like that. A lot of times you could find out about land that is just in your family. And that's real. I mean, that's real stuff like your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents and stuff that they pass away or what have you, and these end up going to the tax people, or somebody comes in there and snaps up your family land because you don't know about it. You don't know that everybody on that side on the what name could I just snap up on the Smith side, or let's say the Smith side. Let's say everybody on the no, everybody's not going on my Smith side, but I'm just saying, let's say the Smith side. Let's say you don't know that everybody on the Smith side, or you happen to know that everybody on the Smith side has passed away or whatever. And that's about to go because, a lot of folks are passing away in a nursing home and stuff like that. And so you need to know about this, right? So the thing that you need to do is you need to start looking into the tax records. Like in Virginia, not in every county, but some counties, not just in Virginia, but some counties all over this country, tax records are online because people want to be able to pay their taxes and stuff, and keep track of their property. I didn't mean to show this person's stuff, but I could probably show my own. Okay. You can search and look up by address, by name, by owner, or just in general. Like me, there's a farm. Oh, that's not me. I don't know why I'm not showing up. Okay, I have to go like this probably. Go to the next page. Okay. All right, so. Okay, so this is the little parcel that I got that belonged to my deceased great grandfather, great grandfather, no, great grandfather, born in 1845. The thing about this is that I didn't know about this. I was looking at, there's other land that I pay taxes on, which I actually have to take care of actually. That is actually is Smith land, and I pay the taxes on it because nobody else will, and I'm trying to keep it in the family. I actually had to buy it back from lawyers for several thousands of dollars. I had to pay to get it back, but this is a mechanism, even paying a few thousands of dollars to get it from the lawyer's hands. This is a mechanism for you all to actually get your foot in your homeland. Look within the tax records of your homeland and look for your people, right? Look for your names. And by doing genealogy, you're going to know people's names. Now, I paid for the land that my father paid taxes on, okay? That's what I do. It's still not even in my name. I haven't even made a move to really fix that. It is heritage land, so it probably will be in the Accomack name anyway. But I'm trying to think, what is it? I know it's still under the ancestor's name, which is Peter. Let me see. See, he's deceased. Okay. Peter's deceased. Is still in care of my dad, not me, even though I'm taking care of this. And another parcel, but that's a mechanism for you to get a foothold in your people's land. It's a smaller parcel than the one that I got from my great grandfather. However, this is also a great grandfather, and you know what I'm saying? It gives you a foothold. You can do things with it. You can, utilize it. We plan on making use of this land in various ways. And also it gives you a place to put a trailer on. I bought a little cheap trailer and put it on the property, and now I have a place to stay. And also it gives me the address to organize the Accomack Indians on, you see? So this is what I'm saying. Go, these are, you see, Hawkeye, these are the county records. They're online. A lot of places have county records online, tax records and everything. And you can even look at, it'll actually map it out. You can go to Google Maps and see a picture of it. There's a whole nother, there's a mechanism for you to do that as well. So, I mean, right. You kind of see where the land actually is, that kind of thing. But anyway, so that's the thing. I mean, it's important that we understand that there's real means for us to do real things. And a lot of people that aren't us, they don't know. And a lot of people that aren't us, they're aggressively going for it, right? They're aggressively going for it. You're sitting up there just being entertained, but you're contacting these people with your information. They're using your information to take what is yours, to become you. They got people that they got hired to do this, to take the genealogy you gave them, to take the deed that you done already showed them you got a hold of, and get it done. Because there's not just you that can claim the deed. They can identify themselves as somebody else that is connected to the deed and claim that deed that you send there waving. And guess what? Them damn authorities will give it to them foreign people before they give it to us. They don't want the real ones to get it. Oh, they be glad to give it to a foreigner. I don't know if y'all know this, but you need to think about it. You need to know this. I'm just tired of us doing things that don't make sense and letting people who do not ethically care about what is right manipulate us. Manipulate us. Just because you can do things don't mean you should do things. Just because you can fight your family don't mean you should fight your family. I'm glad I didn't fight my sisters and I let them. I just was like, well, it is what that is. And I just healed myself. All you can actually do is take care of yourself. You can't change other people. I just changed the way I looked at them. I would not let that become fester and and grow into something negative. And because of it, when I went and had my first summit, they ended up being the ones that helped me get it done financially. you know, and Kerry was there. I know he couldn't probably tell that all that crap had gone on like just before that, or there was any negative stuff going on. There was, I mean, because that's why, because it is your duty to keep the vibe positive. It is your duty to heal the wounds. It is your duty not to hold on. It is your duty to let go. It is your duty to mediate the situation. Everything, especially amongst your people, that's not where the fight is. The fight is with these outsiders. It's not with your people. It's not with your kin. It's with these interlopers. It's with these invaders. It's with these fake people. It's with these manipulative people. It's with people that's trying to claim our freaking land. And I'm over it. And I don't care if you're what color you are. If you're trying to steal and manipulate and control, no, it's not happening anymore.
Go do it at home.
Yeah, go do it. Go is really the primary word. Go.
Yeah. And we got to stop being just falling for everything. You know that, I mean, that, come
That,
on, y'all.
yes,
We just anything. Anybody can say anything and we'll go for it.
all the time.
Got some critical thinking skills. You got to use them.
Critical thinking. So they're talking about this whole critical thinking issue, right? They don't want to talk about critical thinking in schools or whatever the world. I guess that's what it is, right? Not in schools or yeah. So anyway, the whole problem with that is they don't want anybody to really know how ratchet America is. And really, they want to be able to legislate what we talk about with the young, what is taught to the young. Because if people knew how corrupt, if the world knew, the world knows. I mean, the world knows uh, how corrupt everything is. I mean, it's not that they don't know that the corruption's there, I think, but and the world is corrupt in general. However, I think if the world knew how this legal system is set up to ensnare the Negro, to ensnare the American Indian, it would make a lot of people feel a certain way. And a lot of these politicians are saying no to critical race theory because they're saying it's American. It's going to destroy the sense of pride in America. Well, I mean, a lot of the pride in America is a false pride. It's a false pride. It's a false pride. There's very little to be really proud about. A lot of things are ratchet and reckless and friggin' criminal about this country, and it continues to be. So to say that we want to legally lie to children, yeah, I think it's time to stand up and say something about that. Like if you're not writing and calling your politicians about some of this stuff, we need to be calling and writing. And we also need to be going into schools and teaching schools, you know, teaching schools the real history, you know, about our people.
So
And
what is critical race theory? What is that?
the critical race theory is really based on something that historians that were in the PhD programs were educated about a couple of decades ago, and it's concerning the legal system in the United States and how the legal system is actually structured so that it appears to be fair, but it actually is very unfair to the African American. That's what critical race theory is that there is racism built into the system. And they don't want that to be taught. But the problem with critical race theory is that everybody remixes the definition of it. So although that was the initial definition, now these politicians are making it into other things, whatever they want to call it. Call it teaching racism, call it they call it teaching people not to be patriots. They call it whatever they want to do just to justify saying no to teaching the truth. That's what it is. It's become I'm gonna say what it is, and that's what it is. And that's what people do in this world, right? What I say it is, that's what it is. And they just go from there.
That's
And
true.
then they get people excited to rally around it. I was watching this musical today because I like to listen to musicals when I clean. And I was like, look at this musical today, and I think it was a Music Man, right? And the Music Man is about a man who comes to town, and he's really just like he's a hustler. He's a con man. He comes into this town and he's trying to get people to rally around whatever he's trying to rally, right? So he says, I got to create a problem. And that's what the Europeans do wherever they go. They gotta and it's masterful because it's this one song, right? He's setting up for this one song and he's like, look, I gotta create a problem. That's what I need, a problem. So he sees these people looking at a pool hall and it's a billiards hall, but he says, yeah, they just got a pool table in there. He says, oh, they've got a pool table in the billiards hall? He says, yeah, everybody's looking at that new pool table. He said, that's it. And so he sings this whole song talking about this is a problem. You guys are going to go down the drain because you stopped playing billiards and you've got a pool table and it's a trouble. And it starts with a T and it's going to be a P and the problem is a pool table. And he's singing this whole song about how this whole town's going to go down the tubes. The kids are going to be corrupt. They're going to start drinking. They're going to start committing crimes because of this pool table. And that is the mechanism of America. They create trouble and they get people rallied up around it. And that's how they get people to do whatever they want. That is what happens here. And that's why you gotta look out for the people that are doing all the noise making. That's why you gotta look out for them. You gotta beware of them. You gotta see it for what it is. This end of time thing, everybody wants to say there's an end of time. Because we die, there's an end of time. Is the end of our lives the end? I ain't had nobody go back and tell me. I ain't had nobody come back and tell me that whether it was the end or not. I don't know. But this whole end of the world thing, I think we've always are feeling like it's the end of the world. End of a civilization, end of an era. Oh yeah, it feels like that. Definitely end of civilization. We really do have those signs. All this pan moral stuff, pan homo, some pan sexual stuff. Yeah, that's very much end of timeness. Every civilization that ended, they had all this sense of materialism. The money had no value, and there's this sense of amorality, no morality, just lack of any kind of morals, ethics out the window. Yeah, this got that Babylonian type of feel. Yeah, doesn't mean the end of the literal world. Ah, don't think so. End of an era feels like it.
I think if you look
Feels
at
like
what's happening to Disney right now, I mean, that approach should be taken with all these corporations.
the fact of what the governor's doing to Disney.
You know, I'm talking about, it's starting to come out. Disney is just a pedophile palace.
Well, even the governor, and you heard about the governor in Florida. I didn't know Disney had all that control in
Yeah,
Florida, but they have their own government outside of the park, pretty
yes,
much.
yeah,
And he was like, away with that shit.
yeah,
He was like, that's over. Cancel that.
right.
And I'm like, this is the thing. I mean, yeah, they do anything. They bring up these child stars and then they turn them into this little demon people and then they fill your kids. They get your kids all in the hooked on these people, and then they send them down the road, and you wonder why kids are committing suicide, and they all hooked on drugs, and they confused, and they don't feel right, and they don't know why, because they're being fed all this diet of this just just disgusting demonic music that's not doing anything but killing them. So tithing meant you were bringing something to the storehouse. That's what it really was. Tithing was when you brought your corn and your grain and your beans, your dried beans to the storehouse so that everybody has something to eat. Everybody brought their stuff to the storehouse.
For everybody.
For everybody. You didn't hold back. You didn't have a pit in your backyard where you was hiding stuff. Everybody just put it in the storehouse. Because why? Because we all wanted everybody to have. Because we trusted one another and we shared. And they have piltrified this into tithing to a church that gives nothing back to anyone.
See, that's the embarrassing part. I mean, how much from 1900, the year 1900 to now? Just take a ballpark figure guess. How much have we tithed in these churches?
We should have every church should have everything all the way up through college. The way these churches, especially in Atlanta, mega churches have been, and then you end up with what do they end up doing? Sex scandal, raping the boys, just to be replaced by another daggone weirdo. This is just, I mean,
Right.
but still, you don't have one college made by that church. You don't have a school that actually caters to the entire community, not just to, you don't have anything to show for it. I mean, every community should be like levitating because these churches are so powerful, and no kid should be without food or someplace to go or something to do or an activity that's free. No, that never happened. It
So
never
why
happened.
so why does it why is it like you said earlier? The people walk around trying to show off into this. I mean, could it be that the parishioners are demonic just as the pastors are?
Yes, they
Because
are, but that's the other thing. Recognize the game. Recognize a lot of these people that are among you ain't you. And it don't mean that they're immigrants. It means that they're new immigrants. It means that they're not soul people. They're not the American Indians. They are foreigners. They may have been here for a while, but they're still foreigners. And the way they see things ain't gonna be right. And the way they do things, it ain't gonna be like you do things. Wake up and see the difference. And then you got to be different.
Just that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple.
So, Lisa, we're going to go ahead and close it out for tonight.
Okay.
I really, really appreciate you staying up this
Yes.
late with us. Like,
Yes, it was good. I'm glad everybody, thank everybody in the chat for being there. Appreciate y'all being patient. Hope y'all got something helpful out of this.
so what she was saying about the land, doing a genealogy of yourself, doing a history search of yourself. Your history is just as important as anybody's.
It's the most important.
It's the most important. Do a history search on yourself. Nobody's history is important or as good as yours because it's what got you here. All this worship of other people, other ideas, other people, you got the same people in your family. Hell, you may be one of them.
Right.
Check yourself out. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry about last night, but this sister right here is in a battle with one of the biggest banking industries in the company. Send this sister some support because can you imagine if we just got back in our rightful places? Can you imagine
Right.
what we do?
Right.
So I know many of you like that foreign flavor. Knock yourself out. But I'm gonna let you know one thing: when you stay with it too long, you won't even recognize yourself. Ask
Right.
all the brothers that married white women and other women in the 60s and 70s. What do their families look like now? It don't look like his. And that's how
Right.
you erase your asses off the planet.
Right.
Pay attention. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Peace.